The Valley to me is super fun. I really enjoyed making this one. It started off by me just doing improv on the piano, and I came up with, I think it's like a full 4-minute track of me just on the piano making stuff up. And it was actually so good that I just released that unedited version of the piano part, as well as the other fleshed out versions. But that, I don't remember when it was, but it was in December of 25. Maybe it was December 26th, because it released on the 29th, and I had to record a cello part with a friend, and then I released it while driving to Florida. Maybe it was around the 26th or the 27th that I did the improv, and I just, as I usually do, I just sit down at the piano and play, and I came up with that sound, that melody. So then after I completed the piano part and saved and exported the file, then I went back and listened to it a couple times, and I found the melody that I was playing, and I then recorded just maybe 30 seconds of me playing the melody into another project. That way I could hear exactly what I needed to build the next track off of. So the next track is a more fleshed out full orchestral composition of that original improv. So what I like to do is I like to release things more than once, and it is possible with and to get into a little bit of detail, called an ISRC code. When you release any music anywhere, you will, especially on the main streaming platforms, you'll get an ISRC code. And that basically is the social security number of your song. So if you want to re-release it in another like set of music, in another album or EP, you will upload the file again and then provide the ISRC code, so they make sure your releases are tied together. And it's very easy, very nice. So I released the improv and then the next cinematic version of The Valley together. And then once I had my friend Joshua Hankins, he recorded improv cello on that on the track. I re-released it in another EP, which includes the first improv, then the cinematic version, and then the cello version with Joshua Hankins. Josh came over. This was also before we left for Florida. The same night we recorded the cello for the themes of one of the themes in the EP for the A Day in the Life of an Astronaut themes. And we did this one last because it wasn't as important to either of us as the other home theme was. So after we recorded that, like, everyone else was in bed and we were still playing really loudly, so we wanted to get it done fast. We got 2 or 3 takes that sounded very good, and we called it a night. So then on the road, we brought all of our music equipment. So keyboards, monitors, Mac minis, adapters, audio interface, headphones, external hard drives, all of that stuff. And then the first night we were in a hotel, we set it up and processed the cello together. And it sounds awesome. And a really cool thing is that once that was released, I have like everything tied to a TikTok account, so people on TikTok can use any music of mine in their videos that they like. Of course, it gives credit to me, and I earn very little money off of it, but it gets my name out there more. So when I uploaded the track, like, I was just randomly on TikTok the next day watching videos. It was a long car ride, so I needed something to do. And I looked in my, I noticed I had some notifications, so I thought it was just friends texting me. So I went there, and I realized that a few people used the cinematic version of the Valley for some videos, and I was really, really excited. That was pretty cool. But anyway, that is how the Valley was made. So there are two releases, the Valley and then the Valley Volume 2. And to go into a little bit of detail on where I got the name from, when I was writing the cinematic version off of the improv, the phrase popped in my mind, uh, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And I was just like, okay, right there, the name is the Valley. And I think it's a very fitting name for the music. And the kind of the slogan that I came up with to keep me on track as I was writing and then recording the cello with Josh was, I will fear no evil. And of course, I didn't up with that. That can come straight out from the psalm, but I used it to help keep me going. So the song is called The Valley, and then my slogan was, I will fear no evil. Anyway, yeah, so that's The Valley.